and that's kind of what really drives it, is that, and also that we don't have all those pictures, and I feel it's almost a responsibility for me to create them and make it happen, just so that I can, provide that to the area I live in, and hopefully, just give that and lead that, because I do eventually want to get out of here. It's not the greatest place, but I love it, and I've lived here 24 years, and like literally, like like a 5 mile radius my whole life, and so I want to leave something, and just have that part, kind of kick. I feel like it's like the real start of my career, just because it's the most important thing I've done so far, at least to myself. Even though Pasadena is pretty boring and just it's pretty boring, but I mean it feels like the most important thing I've done, starting to do so far. But yeah, that's kind of it. I was gonna just filibuster the space and keep it running for like an hour, but I won't do that.
No, that's fair. No, that was an amazing answer, honestly. Like, I feel like when I look at your work, it has such a personal feel to it, and you can definitely tell that, like, the subjects and, like, the photos that you're taking both mean so much to you. And I never really made this connection before, but, like, what you mentioned about, like, the street photography and the Italian restaurants and everything, I feel like that actually kind of makes a lot of sense. Like, the kind of work that you make, like, feels like that kind of like old like black and white like street photography from the greats that like you would see like hanging up, where it's like some sort of like print run or something that somebody got from like one of the old like legendary photographers or something. So I don't know. I just think it's really cool that you're kind of paying homage to that style. And I also just I've always loved like how personal your photos feel. So it was really cool to hear more about that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna just piggyback on that and just say I got so much love for your work. I fuck with it heavily. Like, um, it's one of the few photographers in the space I find like you can see that and immediately know like that's your work. And I thought like one of your coolest projects was like the journals one, right? Actually, some people might not know about this. I'm breaking the rules again. You want to talk a little bit about that project?
Yeah, I mean this is a little project I've been working on for about 4 years. No, but that project is kind of was really the first like serious like sit down with myself where I was like I need to make this feel personal to other people. But for everybody that doesn't know, the project is I would take a portrait of somebody and speak with them for a while, and then I would have them write whatever they wanted to in my notebook, and it was presented in a way where I showed the portrait next to that page. And I didn't give any guidance as for what they would write, and I would sometimes even just walk away and leave them there with my notebook for a few minutes, so that they could really just put themselves on the page. Um, and it became very personal because everybody has different handwriting, and throw that in with the different thoughts and just kind of words everybody wrote, and every page was completely different. It's the same notebooks, and the concept is very simple. The portraits weren't anything crazy. It was just on the street, very simple. But I felt I got a lot out of them just from the writing. That's been something I still work on, and I still do. Like I said, my birthday just passed, so the 4 year like anniversary kind of just passed as well, because I started that on my 20th birthday, and so I don't think it's something that'll ever kind of just be done, because it's always something I'll want to kind of be able to do.
No, that's good. Uh, I got so much respect for you and your work, man. It's always love, always love.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, you always show that love. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate y'all just letting me come up here and talk. I always say that I just appreciate people seeing my people. It means the world to me.
Yeah, much love, much love. We got to chat soon. We got to chat soon for sure. All right. It's loud as fuck where I am, so I don't know if
Yeah,
Toby
mute.
wants
I'll.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
handled it.
yeah.
I'm literally outside the store right now. I know it's you.
we know. I hear you almost getting hit by cars like every other second. But hey,
Yeah,
Scratch,
someone lose that.
I think you requested the first. So why don't we go with you, Scratch? Are you there?
Hi, hello.
Yo, young Nosferatu, the one and only.
Yeah.
All right, so my question for you is what inspired you to start doing the art critiques?
Oh man. So I don't know if you remember, it was kind of like a little blip in Twitter, I guess. There was this guy, um, I forget what he even said. He made this post that was like he was shitting kind of on
Yo,
artists.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay, cool. Yeah, he was like, he was really upset that so many artists whose work he viewed as mediocre had like these massive followings and were going viral all the time. And to be fair, I thought that part was kind of shitty. I was like, that's weird. And then he was like, someone was like, oh, you should talk about it, and he just started adding the artists directly and saying, a pretty bland critique. Honestly, it wasn't even, I wouldn't even call it a critique. He was just kind of saying, I don't like your work. It's uninspired. It's really this or that. And I was watching this and I kind of agreed, like in a non unkind way. Like I was like, I can see where he was going with it. He was just saying it really aggressively, and it was just like kind of unprompted. No one had requested, like, yeah, tell me what you think of my work, and it was just like kind of out of the blue, and people just started shitting on this man. Like it was bad for him. It was so funny though. But I realized after that moment that I love Twitter, as like there's a lot going on here all the time, but I do agree that a lot of the art here is really unrefined. Even the art that I really enjoy is still pretty amateur. And not to like, and I fall into that category absolutely. I think like I'm not trying to like stand on a pedestal or anything like that, but I I've been a part of like some serious critiques in the past, and I was just like, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen real criticism happen on Twitter before for artists of any medium, really, like visual art, music, anything. Um, and I was like, it had been bothering me for a couple of weeks, honestly, just because I felt that like there was nothing I could really do, and no one. My opinion was that no one would really want to have a harsh critique because a lot of people are used to kind of being coddled, and I was like that too at one point. I really people would tell me they didn't like my work, and I would take it very, very personally. And eventually I got over myself. But my original post was just saying, he has a point. I don't think anyone in this space is ready to have an actual harsh critique. And then I was like, matter of fact, let's see what happens. If you want a harsh critique of your work, post it below. And there were a lot of people who actually ended up submitting. And to be fair, that those first few weeks of me giving my opinions were very unrefined. I was definitely just being kind of a dick a little bit. I don't really I look back on those videos and I was like constantly being like, I fucking hate this, and people were getting pissed a little bit. Some people were like, haha, hell yeah, tell me how much you hate it, tell me why. And I think that's why a lot of people resonated with it is I was giving them, I wasn't just saying I hated the work, and I never have just said I hated the work, or that I even didn't like it or whatever. I've done my best to kind of specifically address a factor in the work and to break it down and to talk about it and to provide suggestions. And when I was a younger artist, that was just like something that I really craved and never got a lot of. It was either I don't like this as a critique, or it was, oh, fire, dude, everything's fucking awesome, everything. Some of my closest friends, they still like everything I do. They're like, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And I'm like, I love, obviously it's nice to have people who appreciate your work and stuff, but I'm sitting here like, it's not the greatest thing ever. There are things that could be better, and it's hard for people to articulate themselves and to say, what don't I like about this? Why don't I like it? And how can it be better? And I've always felt that I'm at least somewhat capable of doing that. And I said, fuck it, let's make it a thing. And for better or worse, it's been continuing. And I enjoy doing it. I definitely am a little saddened that a lot of people started kind of really not liking me on social media, but I've kind of gotten over it to a certain degree. I'm just like, whatever, you know. Some people even originally really did not like the critiques, and not came up to me, but like DM'd me telling me how they didn't like me or what I was doing. And I wasn't really rude, but I told them, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And many of them ended up coming back weeks or months later, just saying, hey, I've seen that you've been taking the criticism into account and trying to be gentler with people and stray away from swearing at them or telling them how much you hate shit and stuff. And I see now that you're trying to help people and blah blah blah. And I don't know, I just think that I think the best way to grow a community is not only to nurture that community, but to nurture it by legitimately discussing the work with honest, brutal discourse. I think it's very important, and I think we all need that. I need that. I think that we all can grow from something like that.
That's real as hell. I think you kind of touched on a point there too, where it's just like with your critiques, like it wasn't just like I hate this. It was just like this doesn't work for me, but also this is why it doesn't work for me, and it kind of gives you like a little goal to work towards, or something that you got to keep in mind with while you're creating.
Absolutely. And even when people really just, people would tell me that they disagree with what I'm saying. And I realize that that's totally fine. Like I'm not the only reputable kind of, I don't have a degree in this. I didn't go to college. So I understand when people disagree. I just think that there's value in hearing someone's perspective, because people are going to talk about your work negatively, just not to your face. And honestly, that's way harder to deal with as an artist, just speaking personally, knowing that people don't like your work, but that they won't tell you why or tell you what could be better or what they think about it to your face, because they're afraid that you will, take it personally. It kind of stifles people's willingness to discuss the work with honesty. And I don't know. I truly do believe it's important, and I'm going to try to keep it going as long as I can. There are times where I need to take breaks from it, honestly, because it gets like, sometimes I do not feel up to it realistically. Like I just see works and I'm like, I don't even know what I want to say about this. And sometimes I just don't know how to say something that's going to be useful without saying like, go back to the drawing board. And I feel like that's just like fucked up and rude to do. But yeah, for better or worse, it's still going. So we will see.
Love to hear. Love to hear. Thank you for actually running them, because I know like I've submitted and like it's definitely helped me, and I know multiple people have said the same thing. So
oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate them.
Always, man. Always. Much love.
I don't think we've gotten a question from Hamad yet. I want to hear a question from Hamad.
I miss Hamad's voice so much. So much.
See, Mew was saying the part that I was trying to say, but I was just like a little bit too shy to say.
Oh, I'll say it. I'll say it loud and proud. I'm pro Hamad. I'm very pro Hamad.
Hey, what's up,
I enjoy it.
Alright, I want to ask Lil Silky a question. What's up, Sammy? How are you?
What's up, bro? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm chilling. My question for you is, when did you first start getting into digital art, and what styles stick out to you the most?
All right, so to answer the first part of that question, when I first started getting into it, I'd say about the summer of 2020. I graduated college, but because that's like the first year pandemic, I had a lot of free time because I was stuck in the house basically around the clock. So, I saw the iPad, I saw I could draw on it. I impulse purchased the iPad on a random afternoon in June with the pencil. And then I kind of just started from there. Like, I'd been drawing, like, of course, forever, like everyone says, like a pencil and paper and stuff throughout school. But I wouldn't say I was really taking it seriously or I had much of an artistic vision. It was kind of something I was doing just to kill the time. But that summer of 2020, when I finally bought the iPad and stuff, I started like taking it seriously, like how to improve my craft, what I was making, and like find a meaning in what I was actually doing, and not just like sinking hours just making whatever for no reason in particular. And I think a style that sticks out to me is like, I know a lot of people say like the anime style, with the bright colors and the crazy bodies and like animations and stuff. But if I would be a little bit more specific, I'd say more the retro anime style. I like the desaturated colors, basically like the grain on it, the way they move, like the authenticness in the animations, and like basically the aesthetic of that era of anime. Even though I'm trying to start adding a little bit more colors in my work again.
Fire. Thank you, Sammy.
Well, I appreciate the question, bro. Thank you.
All right, Mediolanum, can I ask you a question next, please?
Yeah.
My question for you is, so I know you got interviewed last week, so I want to expand further into the fashion aspect of your interview. Um, when will you take it further and bring fashion into your art, and what will your first project look like? Yeah, the hard questions.
Um, I don't know. It's weird though, you know what I mean? Because I see fashion, like even though as much as I love it, I do see it as like a separate medium in a sense. Like I already do fashion, you know what I mean? Like I know how to sew. I like cut and sew, make clothes, do customs and stuff like that. But so I feel like it would just have to have the right intention if I'm gonna put it in my art. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm already I think I'm trying to do a certain style, and I have like conceptual ideas of what I'm trying to like portray through my art. And at least for right now, I see no point in having to put fashion. But it's definitely been in the back of my mind. It's definitely like a huge inspiration and like even stylistic choices. You know what I mean? Like I really fuck with just fashion designers or even like just within illustration, right? Like I remember I was really fucking with Mobius. Y'all know Mobius? You know who Mobius is? That one illustrator dude.
No. Can you link his
Um,
work, or send it to me and I can link
I
it?
I don't think he got a Twitter. But it's like this like comic book illustrator, kind of like thinking in that terms. Super super dope dude. And one thing I really love about his work is that through his illustration, a lot of times like fashion was a big thing, but I think it was like subconsciously a big thing. He just made interesting looking clothes for his characters. So I felt like in that sense, it wasn't a forced intention. And if I were to put fashion into my art, I don't want to just draw characters and like fucking Rick Owens just because. Which I ain't gonna lie, yo, the piece that you want, I got that boy in Aleek's boots. I don't know if you know what Aleek is, but I really got that boy in Aleek's boots. But yeah, you know what I mean. I see no point in just putting it just to put it. But if I definitely have ideas though. I definitely got ideas though. I appreciate you for asking.
Well, like what, like you like moved around the question, Like, so what would your like first fashion project be? Would it be a whole collection, a t-shirt, pants? You want to design some shoes?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I've already made like custom shoes. I've like painted on boots and sneakers. I've like like I know how to clean up like boots and shit like that. I worked with leather and stuff. I know how to sew and shit. So that's what I'm saying. It's like fashion to me is like a whole separate medium. You know what I mean? Like obviously I never posted so people have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But it's like a whole separate medium. If I were to do it through my own art, I think it would have to be I would probably do it in a sense of like maybe fashion illustration. Like if anyone has ever seen like kind of like fashion illustration sketches, that could be an approach that I would probably want to do where I'm like I would probably like sketch out clothes that I want to actually design and bring out in the real world. So that might be like I guess one way to do it. But definitely though, for now, I definitely got ideas like what I want to do with my art, and I'm gonna try to run through that until like I'm like okay on to the next thing. But when I definitely get into like building actual characters, like drawing out like real life illustrated characters and stuff, I'm gonna bring out the fashion. I'm gonna make some fly ass characters. Like no cap, it's like some Kingdom of Hearts type shit. Like shit gonna go crazy soon, soon.
Yo, we're waiting for the day. Thank you so much. Well, sir, I'm handing the mic to you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm ready for this one. I was actually just typing out some questions for like people that we had up as speakers and everything, making sure I'd be ready. So I think Avaj, you were one of the next people, and I hope I'm saying that okay. I think that you were one of the next people up that had came up on stage, and I'm kind of curious. We've been following each other for ages now, and I've seen like I feel multiple different kinds of like areas for your art. Like I believe when we first started following people, it was just or when we first started following each other rather, you were working mostly on producing music, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, that was a while ago. I mean, yeah, like I still like I've been producing like the whole time. Like I started as a producer. The first like art thing I ever did was like torrented FL Studio, and I started making beats in like 2018. And I still make beats like to this day. It's like the like my main like it's like really my main passion. Um, but like I just don't be posting that shit anymore. Really, like I remember I got on Twitter to promote my beats and stuff, and I was just like tweeting into the void for hella long. And like it's just hard to get motion, especially with music. And then like I was realizing like oh like and then I became like I started following all of these like artists on Twitter, and like their stuff started like blowing my mind. And I was like, oh, like this shit is hella cool. And like I became friends with a bunch of people who were artists, and I was like, damn, like I need to just start posting like like art and stuff too. And when I was in high school, I did like I messed around with photography a little bit, and then like me and Amu would just like hang out and like go out to random places and just go because we were bored as hell. It was like 2020, 2021. I was like, why the fuck don't I just bring my camera? And then I just like brought my camera, started editing the photos, and I was like holy shit, like this is insane. Like what the fuck is going on with this? Like I need to do this too. So like, and then I've just gone from there. Like I like post mostly like my photos and like my visual art and stuff, but I've been working on my music this whole time too, and it's just been like it's just like I'm trying to ride like a bunch of different horses. I feel like I mess around with video as well. um I haven't made a video in a while, but it's just like I have like so many things that I want to do and that like I do. um I just kind of like juggle it around. Like I'll make beats for like 2-3 weeks, like one beat a day, and then like I'll kind of lose energy on that, and then I'll like hop back into Photoshop, start editing, start shooting, do that for a couple weeks, and then like I don't know, work on videos, and then like just kind of jump around. um yeah, sorry, I just kind of kept going. I Did that like answer your question, I guess?
Yeah, no, and that's awesome. Don't even stress it at all. I think that's actually really cool for me to hear because I feel the same. I was actually just talking to somebody about this earlier. Like I feel like I'm simultaneously like stressed out by and like I kind of thrive in like organized chaos, like working on like a bunch of different kinds of things. So I kind of feel you on that. Like it keeps me feeling creative to do that.
Yeah, like I'm not very consistent person at all. Like I feel like I'm not consistent. Like I hate doing the same thing over and over again. Like even when I'm making beats, like I'll like start with the claps, and then I'll like make like one beat, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then I'm like, damn, I'm using this drum pattern too much. I'm making it this way like too much, or like they're all sounding the same, or they're all like this or like that, and I start like building up like doubt and stuff in my head. But like, and then like if I like sit back and look at it, I'm like, nah, like the shit came out fire, and like I be feeling like I'm inconsistent, but like I'm still like working on shit like every day, and I'm still like getting better at my shit like every day. So it's just like I don't know, people just work differently, I guess. Like I know some people who just like make paintings every fucking day, and like they just go into their style and do their thing and like really perfect that one style, that one medium, like that one concept. But like me, I'm trying to still, I guess, like develop my skill sets and everything, and like really push myself, see what I can, see what's out there, see what I'm trying to say, see what I'm trying to do. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a perfect answer. I think Joe, I feel like we haven't heard from you. Do you have any questions for anybody?
Do I have interview questions? Oh,
Oh,
no.
sorry. So sorry. I actually have a question for you a little bit later, but I meant like Joe, the guy hosting from the Burrito Dao is also Joe. We have 3 Joes that have popped into this space today.
Oh, that's so funny. I was like, I'm not ready to interview people, so no. All right.
No, I do have a question for you later, though. If Joe doesn't go here shortly, I could just move on to that too. Joe,
Yeah, feel free to move on to that. I don't.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, funnily enough, speaking of another Joe, we had Joe Robles on earlier, and Joe is he's in the audience he's in the audience right now. I feel like both of you kind of fit into the same realm of work that feels very documentarian. And whenever I see anything like that, like coming from the perspective of a photographer myself, I always kind of wonder like what draws people towards that style and what they feel most drawn to capturing. Because I know that like there's always kind of common themes with that documentarian style and everything. I'm just kind of curious, like what subjects stick out the most to you?
It's a good question. So honestly, I do have a few documentary works. I think probably you see it because like most of them are NFTs, but I think honestly I shoot what I love. Like the more I do this, the more it's something has to move me enough to shoot it. Like there may not be a crazy story behind it, like, oh, I walked 80 miles, or this person lived to be 110, so I had to go visit them and hear their life story. But there's always a reason why I make a photo, right? Like it may not have a story, but there's always a reason. And so the longer I do this, the more I find that actually that reason gets broader and broader. I end up just shooting whatever gives me that feeling. So yes, I do a decent amount of documentary work, but honestly, like I wish I could get you a cooler answer than I just shoot what I love. But that's honestly what it comes down to. I don't really have anything like more deep than that, which I kind of love. Like opportunity for me is a big thing, I guess would be another way of putting it too. Like I don't like to be constrained. Like if I go to a skate park, I say like, all right, I'm gonna go make photos here at a skate park. That's it. Like there's no, I need to catch a kickflip and I want to have this framed up this way or whatever. I'm just gonna go with whatever I'm able to tell a story with, right? And there's a lot of times that I don't make photos, like, or I don't get ones that I want or whatever, but I don't go there ahead of time with that in mind. It's more just like, all right, cool, today I'm gonna go here and make photos. And I just try to do that wherever whatever allows me the opportunity to do that, I just kind of run with.
Yeah, that's real. I love that. And no, I think that's perfectly fine answer. Because I mean, like, personally, for me, a lot of my favorite photography that I see is kind of the work where like the photographer might just be kind of there. They're just enjoying life. They just happen to end up there, and they also happen to have a camera in their hand. Like it's that kind of like documentarian work where like you feel that it's this personal moment, and like there just happens to be a photo kind of capturing that moment. So I think that's a great answer.
Yeah. I would say that actually happens less. Like, you also have to put yourself in a position to happen to do that, right? So, like, I go out of my way to go make photos places. I just don't constrain myself with what that end vision is going to be. Outside of, like, client work, obviously, because that, they give you everything. They say, you need to do this. But outside of that, yeah, you got to put yourself in that position to allow the opportunity to take place, too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Arguably, the most important thing for a photographer is just being there. And then, as long as you're there, you can capture the moment. But if you're not there, you're not going to get anything. So,
right.
I get that. Cool. Awesome. Well, I've gone twice in a row. Ahmad, Joe, do you guys have any questions for anybody?
Yeah, I had a question for, I think it's Faraz. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, you're all good. Hello.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my question is, what inspired you to start working with clay? I see lots of your pieces are working with clay in a very interesting way and kind of doing like time lapses, and I'm curious what got you down that path.
Yeah, so I used to be a sculptor in ceramics through like middle school and high school. And once you like get to college and then the real world, like I didn't really have access to clay. But one thing I did have was I just kept siphoning all of my classes kneaded erasers. Like that's like what the clay is. So I just kept taking it from them, and I just had like this little mass of it, and I was like, I could actually do something with this. I didn't really know what to do. But I was watching Robot Chicken, and I was like, I can do that. So I kind of just wanted to figure out how that worked. I wanted to like be able to sculpt again, and then like everything just kind of lined up perfectly. So I was just like messing around with this kneaded eraser. Like I found a stop motion app on my phone, just some alligator clips. Clipped the phone, set it up. I like made little music videos too, which was like little cute stuff. And then I stopped actually for like a year and a half, because I was like, I can't make money off of this. I'm really not trying to do that. I am trying to get a little bit of money to survive, and I didn't know how to make money off stop motions until very recently. I was like, you know, with the power of the blockchain, I could actually make something shake. So I kind of got back into it, and it's been really fun. Most of my I do woodworkings besides the stop motion, and all of those are like super deep, heavy stuff. And I'm really trying to like use the stop motion, what are like claymations, to just be more like happy art and more like upbeat. Yeah, that's really how I got into it. So it's like a cool little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that was very cool, and I think NFTs has allowed a lot of people to kind of re-explore old passions. So, yeah. I just want to say really quick, we're still open for anyone and everyone to get a one-question interview. So if you're interested, please just request, and we'll get to you. It might take a while, but we'll get to you for sure.
Cool. So if nobody else has anything, I have a question for Reddy that I'm pretty excited about. So, Reddy, I feel like we've done interviews a couple times now, but I think one question that I never like really fully touched on is, what were some of the first pieces of media and pop culture that made you feel like you wanted to world build and create stories and art the same way?
Wow. Honestly, I think whatever the first thing I watched was. Like, I really just feel like this has been something that I've been doing like for literally as long as I can remember. I literally have like distinct memories of being in like first grade and just drawing like a bunch of the same character on like a sheet and like giving them names, and then like my friends and I would make like comics for them, and we would draw them in chalk like on our friends' driveways and stuff. And like, I guess it's literally just what I've been doing my entire life. I like not even intentionally trying to like escape anything. I love creating, and as I got older, it became an escape at different times, but just the natural compulsion to like create, I think, has just been instilled in me since like birth. Like as soon as I had the ability to start like molding things with my hands or drawing things on paper, I've been doing this. Like I don't really know what the initial spark was, but like my parents said that like my favorite movie when I was a little kid was Toy Story, and like the first word that I could spell was toy. So it's just been natural. There's no other way for me to separate it from my personality. Just making characters that people care about is the one thing that I feel like I'm supposed to do while I'm here.
That is a fascinating answer, and like much more detail than I was expecting, but I love it then. No, that's really cool. That's crazy that it's literally been like a lifelong thing, because I definitely remember like creating things very early on, but I feel like most artists do kind of have that moment of like sometime when it like really kicked in and they were like, damn, I really want to do this. But the fact that it's been so long that like you can't even like really remember like where that started, I gotta say I respect and admire that.
Thank you. And I mean, I can think like of all of the distinct characters that I've like made little series for that like never went anywhere, or like comic books that just never facilitated into anything. And like literally the first things that I remember drawing, they were called Jubs and Snubs. and the snubs were spiky and the jubs were round, and like they were these things that had like 2 different forms, and I just drew them in as many types as I possibly could. And I guess I would attribute it almost like to Sonic or Kirby or I don't know, but it's just been literally imbued in my DNA since birth.
I love that. Yeah, thank you for answering that.
Thank you
Ahmad,
for
do
asking.
you have any questions? Oh, sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're good. I just said
Ahmad.
thank you for asking.
But
If
Yeah.
Ahmad doesn't have a question, I have.
I'm right here. Okay. Sorry. Jesse.
Hey there.
Hi. Could you? My question to you is, it's not really a question, but it's more of an introduction. I'd like to know what type of art you do, and when did you start?
Okay. Alright, so hi, my name is King Yuran Tatata. I guess that's like my artist name, but my name's actually King Jesse. So the type of art that I do, it's mostly 3D art. Like I work with cinema 4D for the most part, cinema 4D, ZBrush, and a bunch of other software, and also a lot of After Effects. But like lately, I've been doing a lot of video work, for clients, and also for like the collection that I've been working on for the last couple of months. So yeah, that's the type of art that I do. It's 3D, and though I don't want to go too detailed into like it yet. I don't know if you have more questions, but yeah. So I make 3D art. It's all digital. There's really no like physical, like traditional process in what I do. I like spend like most of my hours in front of my computer just trying to create new pieces. I'm self-taught, and a lot of the work that I do make is it's just me trying to just create whatever just comes into my head. Like a lot of my pieces, I have like a random image that just like pops up in my head, and then over like the next couple of weeks, I try to just build up on that. Every time that I end up creating a piece, it usually ends up being totally different in terms of visuals from the original idea I had, but like the concept pretty much stays the same. But I hope I'm not rambling.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you as well. Thanks so much for the question.
All right. I have a question for Noel, but before we get to that, just a reminder: anyone can come up. Anyone can be asked a question. We're just having fun. But yeah, my question for Mr. Emotional is, do you smoke weed?
Nah, I actually don't really trust that stuff.
He's lying.
I heard it causes issues.
He's a fucking liar, and I want everyone to realize that he is misusing your trust right now.
Nah. But you should smoke some weed. Okay, thank you.
I've been smoking weed the whole time. Oh wait, shit, I wasn't supposed to say that.
That's so real. I've been sipping this.
This purple rat gets it out of all of us.
I love that. So, Yagami, I have a question for you. So, it's honestly partially me just shilling Rascals because I love them. But how does it feel to finally have the project out?
Shout out the Rascals. Really good. I had a crazy vision. Like when I first started the project, I didn't really know what steps I needed to take to get to where I wanted. But I was talking to people and just like interacting with people who were interested in the project, and they gave me some feedback, and I took that in and worked on the project. And then it was a lot of natural growth. Um, like I'm pretty sure I learned something new from each new rascal that I made. So it was a lot of learning, a lot of fun. Um, Something that I've never really done, to be honest, in my whole entire art career. I either do art to like spread a message or for practice, but this was like a culmination of a lot of things that I do in art. So it was really fun. Now have to finish the other half, and I'm like reviewing everything pretty much. Like I'm going back through them all and seeing what I can add and change and enhance and improve. So it's still gonna keep growing and evolving, but it's really nice to finally get like a part of it out there and seeing everybody like resonate or like rascals and vibe with the message that they kind of spread.
Love that answer. Yeah, I personally am a huge fan. I hold one of them, and I was super stoked with the one that I ended up getting. Yeah, no, it was cool to hear. It was cool to hear about that. I'm glad to hear that it's been like a good experience and all that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for answering the question for us. Sorry, my doorbell just went off because I got a DoorDash order. But Joe, Hamad, do you guys have any questions?
That's a fire doorbell. Hold on. That
yeah, I
shit
don't
was
know
going
what's
high.
my landlord giving me that doorbell, but it's kind of hard though.
All right, sorry, I didn't actually have any questions, but that it does go high.
HC, I got a question for you. Yo, tell me more about your art, please. Like, what topics are you touching on with the 4 pieces that are pinned right now? Because I really like the first and it's the second one, I saw the blooming.
So what I touch on is basically like areas I want to be in or areas I think of inside my mind, and I just like choosing silhouettes and putting them in my art a lot because I like to imagine that as me or like somebody I know. And honestly, all my art pieces are just inspired by either things I'm seeing or dreams I've had. And the first piece that I have on there called Finishing Touch was inspired by a dream I had as well, and so is the last one named Serene, which I fortunately got featured on a billboard in my city. And a lot of my art is just inspired by dreams I'm having or inspirations from movies, anime, or TV shows.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great. All right. Now I got a question for Cliff. What about Uberland excites you right now? Right here, right now. What about Uberland excites you the most?
What the hell is Gooberland?
That was real as fuck.
What excites me the most? I think it's the amount of characters I have to play around with, honestly. Because I got 222 characters just sitting waiting for a story to be told. And I really could do anything, any direction. It could be like, I know they're colorful and stuff, but I could like do like a horror story with them. I could do some drama, I could do any genre with them, anything I want. I just think that's dope. It's endless.
For sure. You have nothing but opportunity ahead of you, King.
Thank you, brother.
Real.
All right,
I have a follow-up question for Cliff, if nobody minds.
Bet.
What are your thoughts on Delta 8 gummies?
I've upgraded to Delta 9s.
Yo, that's so fucking real. I love
We
to hear
love
that.
to hear that.
Let's leveling up in life.
Yes, sir. You know how I do.
Yo. Okay, so we have been talking for a while, but I'm still just ready to keep going. So just a reminder, anyone can come up, get asked one question. Oh, my friend Surreal is here. I fucking love to see that. Hi, Surreal.
What's up?
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How you doing, bro?
Good. That was your question, by the way. Get fucked.
That's crazy.
Dude, it happened to me
That's
too. This shit's so fucked up.
wild. That's some Burrito Dao shit.
Hey,
For real.
Internet gangsters in my DMs type beat.
Hey, yo, you was posing us shit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the burrito gang.
Alright, my real question for Surreal is what inspired your name? And I guess kind of to branch off from that, like what's inspired you to cover such like surreal subjects?
The name itself was... I'm a gigantic nerd, so I love like comic books. And a lot of comic book characters have alliterations for names, like Peter Parker, Clark Kent. So I figured, it sounds catchy, so I might as well use that. And when I started out, I was just editing stuff on my phone, and there was a lot of pages called like surreal this, surreal that. So I thought, I'm going to use that. And then Serpentine, I actually made the account for a specific type of art. I was making an app called Roll World, which is like, makes things like very circular, which is basically what Serpentine means. It's a snake-like motion. So I just thought Surreal Serpentine was cool. And I made it, and I didn't use the account for a very long time, and then I started up as like this kind of art. And what was the other question? Like the follow-up bit?
Like what do you think kind of made you cover such surreal topics throughout your art, or just give you that style?
I think I've always just gravitated towards that sort of stuff, like especially growing up in a Muslim household, I always just thought about existence and things that I don't know about, like what could this be or what could that be. So it's just, I don't know, just very drawn to it. And I feel like if I can make anything, I might as well make it something that isn't real, because I can experience the real things in life, so I might as well make it different.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for answering that. And yeah, it was cool to hear about the inspiration behind your work. I've always been a big fan myself, so it's cool to hear about that. But we've got Goliath up here. I think you're the only person on stage that we haven't asked a question yet. I'm kind of curious. I just took a look through your media. I honestly was not too familiar with your work, but it's very intriguing, and I feel like it has like a really striking visual style. What kind of inspires that? Like, what are the inspirations behind like the subject matter for your work? Hello? You there?
Yo.
Are we getting the rug?
I think he might
Hello?
be getting rugged.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, my headphones are terrible. But one thing that I like to tackle when it comes to just work is like inspiration wise, is like the inner child, or just like those sort of color theories that kind of make you feel like you're a kid again, or just like with this collection I dropped, which is called Prelude. It revolved around like the death of an inner child, or just like having this sort of rose-colored glasses for like love, and then you just kind of like lose that in a sense, but then also at the same time you're just kind of like jumping from like something just like very like, I don't know, sweet and sentiment to something just like with a lot of dark undertones, but still kind of keeping that like lightheartedness, you know, with the colors, like in the color theory. So yeah, with this next collection I'm dropping, I kind of want to like tackle the same themes, but I want to play around with the color theories because it with more of I don't even know how to really say the word, like more like trans, you know, just more like like unnatural, like best example is like this piece I dropped recently, which was, it was called "Where Did the Day Go," and that was like my first time dealing with more like darker colors, you know what I mean? And I still want to play around with those colors. I still want to have those sort of contrasts with like a lot of dark undertones, but at the same time neon colors. So it's like, dang, like this is just really hard not to stop looking at, you know?
No, I love that. I always think it's so cool when artists put a lot of thought into the color theory and like how that makes people feel and everything. It's always especially interesting to me when people have that contrast of like the kind of dark subject matter, dark like get an inspiration from within it, but like using those lighter color palettes and everything. So yeah, no, I'm glad that I was able to find your work here. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's actually funny because a friend of ours pointed that out, where it was like with a lot of Twitter art, it'd be like the darkest titles, you know, like I don't feel nothing anymore, but it'd be like the brightest colors. It'd just be like the weirdest stuff. But yeah, that's just so funny. But I wanna keep that same like trend going, honestly.
No, I feel like because it kind of like it's cool how it like forces people to look at the piece. They enjoy the piece for what it is, but then when you look deeper into it, it kind of like also forces you to kind of acknowledge the deeper subject matter and like think about life a little bit more. And I think that's just like that's a very fascinating strategy. That just like the idea of kind of like pulling people in with the bright colors and with like the lighter color palette, more vivid color palette, but then like really making them think while you're at it. I love that.
Hell yeah.
Sick. Well, yeah, thank you for joining us and thank you for answering that. Joe, Hamad, do you guys have anything?
Yeah, I got a question for Retro. Hi, Retro.
Yo.
Yo, first. Yeah. Sweet. But first, let me just hype you up real quick. You know, okay, so Retro is amazing, you know? He runs Memory Card, and they have a lot of Smash tournaments, a lot of gaming activities. But yeah, no, they're doing great shit. And yeah, my question to you is, what inspired you to kind of create Memory Card and create this gaming community?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it just all started with the idea of getting a group together that really liked the same things and kind of was like, you know, influenced by things that we all grew up with, especially considering like the IPs that we know and love today, like Pokemon, Nintendo, Xbox, Halo, Call of Duty, and there's just so much more to name off of that, right? But once I got, I guess, introduced to a group of friends that were all playing Smash together in an extremely informal way, I was like, well, what if we made this a little bit more formalized and, you know, utilize the talents within and created just continuously cool stuff. And from that, that's kind of where Memory Card is and where it's going, really. So
oh, hello?
Yeah, I think you got rugged in the middle there.
Yeah.
You were talking about where it was going.
Yeah, so sorry. Give me 1 second. Let me just reply. Yeah, I just had a coworker call, but everything's good. So, yeah, just for context there on what it is and where it's going, we definitely want to start utilizing and I guess harnessing the talents within the community to showcase, you know, fun memories within, to showcase who the artists are within, to showcase what we can do, and just kind of like our knowledge on gaming and stuff. But the idea and the hopes for it in the future is to get a good sense of gaming culture and establish a great sense of
community with people that love playing games, finding out games and trying new things, and seeing if we can scale that even further into a brand, whether that's clothing, as well as maybe a online presence through a magazine and or a website. So yeah.
Hell yeah, I love that. I think you're doing great things. I think you're doing big things. I think it's all big time. I think it's all good business.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and of course I'm super hyped that Burrito Dao is integrating within Memory Card, and we have a bunch of members in there constantly coming in, showing off what they're good at, and just constantly killing it. So always a big fan of everyone at Burrito Dao, all the artists at Burrito Dao, all the people at Burrito Dao. So major shout outs to y'all.
Hell yeah, thank you. And also, I just want to say really quickly, if you're very good at Smash Brothers or potentially other video games and you like Chipotle, definitely head up Memory Card, because Burrito Dao will be continuously sponsoring their tournaments with some Chipotle gift cards, making sure we get everyone right with the burritos. So
let's go. Yeah, sweet. Well, I appreciate y'all. I gotta run real quick, but as always, love hearing spaces here at Burrito Dao. Definitely recommend, if this is your first time listening, continue to hear them out, because they're giving the inside scoop on artists that are actually doing amazing things, and the people that they're networking with. You just keep hearing amazing things left and right. So definitely recommend them. But peace, y'all. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and take care.
Thanks, Retro. Thanks for joining us.
For sure.
And we don't have anybody up on stage anymore that has any more questions. So I'll take this opportunity to say that, one, if anybody wants to come up and get a one-question interview, we're still looking for some more people. And then also, I'll kind of second what Retro was saying. So we do a lot of artist interviews pretty much every week. Our schedule is pretty much Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. And we're starting to experiment around with some different formats like this. We have an art critique kind of thing that's coming up on Friday, and just different kind of conversations with artists and with people building in Web3. So yeah, make sure to tap in. And Joe, Hamad, I don't know how you guys are feeling, but if there is nobody else that wants to come up, there's Alu. I know you had a question for him, Joe.
Yeah. Hi, Alu.
Hi, Joe.
Hello. Okay. My question is, what made you start creating like crazy, beautiful landscapes and stuff?
I'm trying to think of what my first like real landscape was. It started when I started diving into pens, because I suck at like figure drawing, and I'm not really good at like making realistic things in general. So I feel like landscapes were my first attempt outside of like, I used to draw a bunch of cyclopses. I used to draw a bunch of just like eyeballs in general. I feel like typical beginner drawing things. But then, yeah, landscapes was when I first started like trying to experiment with putting my world building into art and trying to create some like depth. I had a lot of fun just like putting things in the background and, adding little characters here and there, kind of like a search and find or something like a Where's Waldo kind of deal, but just for me in my own little game in my head.
Hell yeah. I love how you also touched on like the world building aspect there, because I feel like both the landscapes and the world building are very hand in hand.
Yeah, totally. It's something like as soon as you make like a landscape and then you put a castle in there, at least for me, my mind immediately goes like, okay, well, who's living in the castle and what's going on and how can I add more elements of their existence into this little drawing. I think it's like a super easy way to expand on it.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely gives it a much more whole look,
Thank you.
Of course. I'm a big Ali fan, by the way, if anyone was wondering.
Big Burrito Dao fan over here, big Joe fan in general.
All right, I got another question for Noel. Noel, are you there? Hello, Noel. Paging Noel.
Yeah, I just got back. Was in a meeting. What's up?
Yo, okay. So, what is this purple rat even doing? Like, I know he's doing something, but what is he even doing?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that shit out. Dude's been wildin'. He's been traveling, you know.
Rumor on the street, like I've heard this through the grapevine. Feta is going to be in a lot of different metaverses. Can you confirm or deny this?
This is already confirmed by various sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Admiral. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to see the purple rat around the entire world, around the entire metaverse, doing crazy things.
I'm glad to take time to answer questions from my fans. I got you.
Fan.
Yo, thank you everyone for joining us tonight for our first interview roulette. We appreciate you all. For our next one, just keep a lookout for when we interview it next time. And of course, if you were interviewed this time, you can join in next time. We'll just be asking you a different question. You know, have a good night. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you for that, Hamad. I just want to say we're live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, usually at 7 p.m. EST, right when this started. Also, check out our YouTube because we'll be streaming these on YouTube as well and also uploading them. So yeah, check that out. Follow us. Do all the cool shit that helps us out. And we'll do all the cool shit that helps you. But we'll see you on Monday. Oh no, wait.
Definitely go eat a burrito.
Is it Monday? Yeah.
Friday.
We'll see you.
Or yeah, Monday.
So I remember me and my brother Bob's went to Federal.